Hey, this is John Bohlinger with Premier Guitar. Today we're taking a first look at the brand new Zoar by EarthQuaker Devices. Before I tell you all about this very cool pedal, take a second to subscribe below. That way we can keep you up to date on all the cool new gear that's out there. So here's how we're recording it. This is my old 55 Strat, and I'll play my Les Paul a little bit later on so you can hear it with humbuckers. I'm running that into an Ernie Ball volume pedal and a Keeley Halo, and then they're both running into the Zoar. The Zoar is being powered by a custom audio power system, and the reason I'm using this fancy audio, custom audio power is because it gives me the option of both 9 volt or 18 volt, and I want you to really hear the difference between the two because it takes both kinds of power and reacts differently. That's being run into my Bad Cat Black Cat, which is being mic'd with a Sennheiser E906, going into an Apollo 8 and into Logic, then out to you all. So that's my signal flow. So EarthQuaker, they created an all-discrete circuit that imitates the way an amplifier works, or like an old fuzz pedal like a fuzz face or a box of rock. And what you get a saturation that is more organic and touch sensitive and responsive. And I find that really the case. Across the top, you have level, weight, and gain. And then there's a 3-band EQ of bass, middle, and treble. And I've found that each one of these controls are very interreactive. If you adjust the weight, it's going to make the way the 3-band EQ reacts, it's going to be different. So instead of me just telling you all this stuff, why don't we just go ahead and hear some tones and see what you can see for yourself what it does. So coming in, I had everything flat, and then I boosted up my gain kind of part way through it. But let's start with things flat and the gain down a bit. Here's my bass tone right here. So. Nothing wrong with that, but engage the Zoar. I brought down my gain, so let me bring up the volume. That alone, just with that tiny bit of gain, I think makes that tone just, I don't know, way more interesting. Opens it up. So again, here's my bass tone. Now granted, louder always sounds better, but I just find that a more interesting tone. Let me bring my volume down a little bit, then bring that gain up a little bit, 3/4. Now, let's get into what this weight does. Essentially, the weight control dictates the amount of low end that passes into the circuit, thus controlling the entire characteristics of the pedal. So let me try first just rolling it back a little bit. And we'll feather it up. I'm going to put it back in the middle, and you can just see what it does to the entire mix. So here's our 3-band EQ. I'm going to boost up my mids. Now let's see what the weight does when we boost that up too. And I'll bring it down. What I really like about the weight is, to me, particularly when you're recording, you're looking for your sonic space. You're trying to find that frequency that other instruments aren't covering and kind of claim your ground. And as tempted as I am to always have a ton of bottom end in there, I find that when it's in there, it may sound great by itself, but in context, it kind of disappears. So I love the fact that you can kind of, with this weight combined with 3-band EQ, you can get into the nuance of finding your frequency, finding your tone in there. So if you're into nuance to tweaking, this gives you all that. So EQ is pretty straightforward. Let me bring those mids back to normal. In fact, let me bring the mids down a little bit. I'm going to put that weight up a tiny bit and then boost that high end. I kind of like it scooped like that. Then bring them up. With a little bit, I'm just going to bring that back a bit, bring up our bottom end, bring back the high end, and bring up our gain. Let's go ahead and try some humbuckers. Okay, now I'm on my old Les Paul. Here's our bass tone. Let's engage the Zoar. Now, what I really like, I like putting have a slightly distorted amp and put the Zoar on top of it. So here I'm in the other channel of the Bad Cat. So I'm there, it's a nice overdrive, but then we want to take it over the top, engage the Zoar. Okay, now let's try it at 18 volts through a clean sound, signal. Okay, now we're at the power of 18. Let's see what that does. Here's my bass tone. Clean channel. Now let's engage this thing. Wow, lots more volume. Let me cut that down a little bit and then just dime this pig up. Roll down that high end a little bit, down more of the weight. Okay, if this was my pedal, I think I would keep it on 18. It just sounds so alive, and everything it kind of plays a little more present, I guess, or reacts differently in a very natural, ampy way. So I like that. So you've got an all analog signal path. You have extreme interactive, medium, high gain, discrete transistor based distortion, which is just, I don't know, it's fun to play, very expressive. Lifetime warranty, silent switching, and goes between 9 and 18 volts for power. So very impressive. To read the full written review, go to premierguitar.com. While you're online, make sure you subscribe to our social media and YouTube, all that jazz. Keep you up to date on all the cool gear that's out there. This is John Bohlinger. Till next time.